So we decided we're just gonna start because people are still chatting downstairs and we don't know when they come. So maybe somebody will enter later. So welcome to the second day in the Parallels. I don't know if any of you were here yesterday, but the stories that were shared were quite personal and not really scripted, and we were crying and laughing. Everything was just very nice, very open. And so, well, let's see if we have time or if we feel like also discussing a little bit after we share our perspectives. Oh, and a side note, I'm also speaking on 2 sessions, but I applied before I knew I'm moderating, so I'll be doing both. Okay, so the first topic, harnessing the flow of energy, an alternative business planning strategy. I'm really curious what's going to be shared here, and I just think I go last. So I invite the speakers, please, to join me here. So everyone has 12 minutes. 12 minutes for your speech, and I will be just checking the time, and I will show you 3 minutes when you have 3 minutes left, and then 1 minute. Yeah, let's start. So, yes. And also you can use this mic, or if you want to walk around, this one. You want to use this one?
No, both of them.
Oh, yeah, you said no. Okay.
So I can leave that like that, because I don't have any slide. Hello everyone, and I would like to welcome you in your language, Dobrodošli. I'm Yasemin from Turkey. I have background. Okay. So I came to Slovenia when I was 17 years old. I came here for the education program in the Faculty of Economics in Ljubljana. And I was studying here. I just came like for a while. I said, okay, I will just go and study for a couple of semesters in Slovenia, but it was just like more and more and more. Then I finished my faculty in 4 years in Slovenia. I never go back. It was just like little bit more, little bit. Country is really good, peaceful, and trustful. And then like when I was about to finishing the faculty, I was like, okay, maybe I can also work. Maybe I can also learn Slovenian. Why not? And you know, like every year I was having better ideas, and then like I was working as a student. Then I was having an opportunity. Actually, what I believe in the business and in our careers, we need a luck. So like, who didn't have a luck? They work harder. I believe so. Because I had a luck when I was just as a student. I got the job opportunity as a manager because it was a Turkish company. They didn't know Slovenian or English, so they were just neat. And I was the only one in Slovenia because you don't have here a lot of Turkish people. And then I accepted, and then when I went in the company, you know, like we all talk how we are professional companies, how the big companies have like professional skills. Actually, it is not like that. We have to know that there is many company, many businessmen are in the business just by luck. Their life drives them in the business. And really, from my experience, as I see, they just had the possibilities, association, because when you have your business, you need a network. When you have a true network, actually you are in. Knowledge or without knowledge. And then this was the same concept. The man who had a business in Slovenia, he just came to Slovenia to invest in Slovenia instead of Italy. It was cheaper, benefitable, so, but he didn't calculate his knowledge. Slovenian market is strict. Slovenian market is not like Italian market, not like a Turkish market. So being a Turkish, having Italian business skills, make a business in Slovenia didn't go for him. So in this case, he was calling me. He said, you speak maybe little Slovenian, but English, and parallelly your school is similar to my business. I need you in my office. I told him what I work. I mean, I cannot just be in your office. I need to know what I am going to work. And he didn't know how to describe my position. And this is a businessman. So like, you know, he doesn't have description about the departments because he doesn't know. He just had the money and the employees and the knowledge of the production. They were producing fast foods, by the way. So then I said, okay, I just started to give him reports from the accounting system, from the management system, from the production system. So by giving him reports, I parallelly learned in the accounting department, and I learned in the management department. Like each department I went inside, I learned better things. By learning, I started to offer him, you know, we are in Europe, we are in... I don't know.
Doesn't work.
No, I didn't want.
Yeah, you have to because
Okay.
So it's recorded. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay, do you hear me now? Try it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, in Slovenia or in Europe, you have really good system of the programs. We have to use these programs thoroughly. So what we did, it was just like my luck again. I was able to bring many programs and use them like accounting programs and management programs. So what it gives this in business, everybody can have a control. So let's say from the bottom, from the production, what they need, they just put in the system. It go over. And then our levels are checking. Is this products we really need necessarily? Then they make program on it. Then they just put on the purchase. Then purchase check it. Purchase do the market analyzing. So basically the programs are giving us easier life. And just like to watching this system, the management, the top manager or the owner can check the system easily. So he doesn't need me in the middle. So I don't need to report anything because if he can see, and if I can see, and I don't need to walk in each department to understand, oh, what are you doing today? Did you order? What did you order? What will you pay? Did you pay? Or how is our balance sheet, weekly, monthly, yearly? So all these things are going in the system. So we just learn to use this system basically. So where I will come from here, this was giving us faster way to make a strategic plan. And with this strategic plan, when we get lighter works, we can focus on other things. What's our next step? We have production, we have a great management system, everything is running how it should be. So what is coming next? Development. And development in the new markets. So we have to focus in the new markets. We are in Slovenia, okay. We are in Italy, okay. We are in France, so we are in Europe, which is basically easy step. Because you know the Schengen procedures and you know the HACCP system, international food system. So Europe is like a sister and brothers. And after next step, we search where is the benefitable countries to enter in the food sector. It was Middle East. So just a second. So why the Middle East? We have to enter all the way from Slovenia. So we were planning, because Middle East is the countries. It's Saudi Arabia, United Emirates, Oman, Dubai, Bahrain, Kuwait. All these countries are purchasing. So they basically don't produce. So, and this is by cultural and by habit. You know, like they never produce. They never know how to produce. And they don't need to produce. So in this case, we said, okay, we have to enter by the project again. So, but how we should do the project? We should know first our mission. And first we need to know the markets. So we went to there to make a market analysis. So we analyze every country, like because we have to settle in the one first. And it should be really important to this first step that marketing has to bring more people. And like, okay, when we do analysis in the quick way, Saudi Arabia is the biggest purchase because there are 30 millions. So bigger than others. And in Saudi Arabia, many things are forbidden. So why I am talking about this? When the things are forbidden, you have less things to do. And one of these things are eating. So Saudi Arabia has just the way of eating. They are enjoying with that. They don't have cinema, they don't have concert, they don't have natural, they don't have mountain to hike, they don't have pool to swim because it is prohibited for men and women. So what all they do? Eating, gathering after job, where are you going to eat? Because you don't have street to walk or it is 50 degrees. And then, okay, in this case, what we can do, we can enter Middle East market from Saudi Arabia. And in Saudi Arabia, it is hard being a woman in the business, we cannot. Because we have so many procedures. We said, okay, let's use a Bahrain. It is another country next to Saudi Arabia. And why they have a bridge, and in Bahrain, what you cannot do in Saudi Arabia, you can do in Bahrain. Alcohol, party, everything, casino, whatever you think. So why I'm talking about this, it is a good marketing place. All Saudis are in Bahrain in the weekend. So we open our branch, we open our stores, and we make our marketing in Bahrain. And we didn't focus in Bahrainis. We focus in Saudis. We focus on Kuwaitis because the same problem in Kuwait. You know, we are thinking Arabs are very religious. They're not, but their countries are pushing them. So whatever they cannot do in their country, they go to Bahrain or Dubai or Qatar because these three countries are more open than others. So we did in Bahrain these things, and we provide ourselves, we did marketing, and we always know who is our customers. We focus on that, and then it was successful. And then after Bahrain, we take the step in Kuwait and Qatar. We just did the same project. So we use the strategy by using true location. And of course, we are using a network because networking is the most important thing in my case. So what I am going to summarize, this is not my business plan. I don't call it business plan, but I call it roadmate. So when you make your road, you will make actually your plan. But you need to make your business plan with the true marketing research and the true networking. And then my system structures are based by my learning and experiences. So I think these two has to go always together. So, and what I am doing right now, I just came back to Slovenia, and I would like to use all my knowledge for all my own business. So I believe I can do it more, and I think I am here for settle new things and explore my new business space, and yeah, that's it. That's my topic. Thank you.
Thank you. So, shall we just go to Anna? Yeah. I will just set up.
Welcome. First, I would like to apologize to all that arrived here by plane. Still, I would like to say that planes are the most safe way to travel these days, still. I wanted to base my story on how we make strategy. So that's why this picture. You probably know that Boeing 737 MAX had severe crashes in 2018 and 2019. 157 people died in Ethiopia, and 189 people died in Java. So these are pretty tough things. What happened? How this happened in the days where everything is really, really calculated and safe. Let me just read a few sentences that employees in Boeing company wrote to each other in 1917 and in 1915. It means 3 years before the accidents. This plane is designed by clowns, who in turn are supervised by monkeys. This was a message on email from one colleague to another. How can this be and nobody notices? Something went wrong, obviously. And another one, would you put your family on a MAX simulator-trained aircraft? I wouldn't. And a colleague answered, no, I wouldn't either. What I want to point out, what is the strategy of this company? When I was a little girl, my uncle was traveling a lot, and I was hearing Boeing like something very safe and big and something really well thought of. And today I'm listening to these crashes. I know it can happen, but not to a company like Boeing. Why? Why this happened? I was Googling a lot about this accident, and what I found out was that the change in the airplane was so little that engineers and pilots took only 2 hours to learn how to maneuver the MAX 737. Only 2 hours. Can you imagine? Why only 2 hours? Because it's too expensive to train longer hours. Why we need this technology? Let me just explain to you what went wrong, really. The maneuvering characteristics augmentation system went wrong. And this is just IT technology. So they thought, oh, we can learn this in our office. We don't need not even a simulator to learn this. I can't even pronounce this. So the technology is becoming very complicated. And that's why we need people to know still what is going on. So, what would you say? Is it greed? Do we want to make things really cheap? Is it maybe irresponsibility? Who was irresponsible? Workers? Managers? Or is it fear? I'm working a lot with companies. I'm in HR. I usually develop people and find talents. And many times I see that the problem is that we are scared to say what we think because we might lose position. The boss might be angry at us to showing him that he's not doing something right. So the basis is always people. Are we brave enough to say when something is going wrong? Are we brave enough to say it very out loud? Not just to our colleague in a passive behavior, you know, on the corners of the offices, but to the right person who can really change something. So the flow of energy was definitely not going in the right direction. Maybe nobody really took care of it. So I would like to ask you now, have you ever been in a company and you felt something's not right, something might go wrong? I feel it, I feel it, I feel it. How come the management doesn't do anything? What did you do? Did you say it out loud? You left. Okay. That's one option. But what I would like that we would all do, that we would shout out loud, because it's not right. Sorry? So we have to shout louder. So what you didn't do, maybe sometimes the consequences are not that severe as they were in Boeing case, but still our earth is changing. We were just talking about that during the break. We have severe consequences of this economy development. There is no sustainability, and we might lose everything we have. So are we shouting loud enough? What kind of strategies do we make, really? So imagine that you are not scared, that you are really you, that you can really use your potentials, that you can really be in the flow of energy. What would you do differently in that cases, maybe, today? Would you do something differently? I'm sure you would. I see this every day. When people are really in their own energy, when they're really, the teams are in their energy, we do things differently, very differently. This is the right empowerment and right engagement in today's companies. Let's go back to Boeing. Yesterday, I went on their internet page, and I wanted to see what their vision and goals are. I'm not happy with what I can show you. I miss a lot of things in this strategy, in these goals. Why happened to Boeing what happened? They are competing with Airbus for ages, because the one who is cheaper gets lots more clients, lots more customers. And their first goal is compete, to be the first on the market. There is nothing about sustainability. There is nothing about people. There is nothing about the things that happen, the crashes. And yesterday I read this on their internet page, and the strategy is for 2025. I think something's wrong. There's too much competition, and we are flying with this company. So what we do in today's companies that are successful, we are really, I thought it's crazy like 5 years ago, but this is what we really do. When we set the strategy, we are really meditating on it. We want it to be sustainable and balanced with the people and environment, and we don't want just to compete, because it's the wrong way of doing business these days. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your perspective. Let me just... Ja. Sam to zaberem. Mandala ta slide. A tam naslov?
Ja, kar naslov. Po mojem boljše. A ne?
Така. Hi. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to share a story of my life, actually. I was 27, just barely 27, when I was appointed to a business position that I was totally not prepared for. And I was young and I was full of ambition. I had a small baby at home, actually. And I had a husband who was very ambitious as well at the same time. And it was a really, really nice challenge for me. And I took it. And how it stopped the development that took me really full speed into a goal that was not good for me, neither for my family, neither for everyone around me. I was lucky I got pregnant again. That's what stopped me then. And I have to tell you that after 2 kids, my ambitions didn't stop. I actually felt that I have to do more with my life. I have to be successful in my career. I have to be successful with my mothering. I have to be successful in my relationship. I have to have a loving, exciting relationship. I have to take care of my parents as well, and my friends, and everything. And it was, again, a roller coaster that was going to the end that was not good for me. That's why something started happening to me. It was actually a force of nature that was most probably the only thing that was able to stop me in my doing. I actually got injured the first time. And it stopped me again. It was just like the second pregnancy. And, suddenly, in one day, you are stopped, you're at home, and you get all the time and thinking and for revisiting your past doings and your strategy for your business life, your strategy for your private life. And I'm very special with my injuries because, I have very not that typical injuries. I was in a car crash, so I injured my back, so it was not very simple. So it meant weeks and weeks of time for me to revisit myself and my doings. And I decided, okay, it's perfect timing. I get to be with my kids now. I get to talk to myself a lot. I have time to be with my mom and start with a bit more sport as well. And then the sick leave ended, and I changed job at that time, and I started again with my roller coaster doings. And then again, I broke my foot. A very weird injury, very rare. I got like 5 screws in my foot, and I was not able to walk for 4 months, and then I had to learn again to walk. But that doesn't matter, because I had 4 months just for myself. And I was thinking, what do I do with my life? I have to stop. This is not good, And I have to change job. I have to change something with myself. I have to start treating my life with my husband, with my kids, with my family, with my friends differently. And the sick leave ended. I went back to work. I got into some really intensive projects again, and the roller coaster started again. I think I'm the only one here in Slovenia, most probably even in the region, that was able to break both feet in the same way in 2 years. When they brought me to a hospital, it was the same hospital as the first time, and the same doctor was the one that was there to do the first checkup, and he said, "Oh my God, I remember you, but you know the previous time, your nail polish on your feet was a bit darker red than it is today." And I said, "Oh my God, this is not normal. I have to stop with my doings. This is not good." And again, the injury was the same. The other foot, screws again, another 4 months of recovery, back on my couch at home, had to start learning to walk again. In 4 months, your body changes. In the meantime, I was 40 plus, and the hormones start to work differently, and the kids have grown, and, I'm suddenly a burden at home. I'm at home all the time, and my 2 teenager girls are, "Mom, I mean, we are used to having the house for ourselves. You're again at home all the time. You have to do something." And I said, "Okay, I know I will start doing some sports, but mostly what I finally did was I started meditating. I did yoga before, and I love yoga, but it's a workout for me. It's not something that's spiritual, something that it gives me lots of energy, but mostly physical. But the second time, I actually got into meditation. By the way that my body and my mind work, I'm not the typical person to meditate. That's why I needed an app to help me with it. And it actually helped, and I did it. And I focused, I said, "Okay, but I cannot just meditate, it's weird, it's not something for me." And I found there was a specific meditation for pain management, because you should know, with all these injuries, there is pain. And I said, "Okay, maybe this will help me. I will focus on the pain, but maybe, the rest of my life will get into some order as well." And I started meditating, and it worked. But then, after 4 months, I stopped meditating. I went back to work, and the roller coaster started again. And I said, "Oh my God, this is terrible. Now, I know it's a problem in me, but, maybe even the environment into which I usually get into is helping me not to focus on balanced life." And I quit my job last year. I quit my job. I'm not at home. I quit my job before I had anything, any other opportunities. And I said, "Well, I'm smart. I have enough experience. I know lots of things that I could do. Maybe even work on myself sometime. Not go to work every day." But of course, even before I finished with the paperwork with the previous job, I got another one. But this one, I think it's treating me better, and I'm treating myself and my life better. I'm just hoping, and I'm saying, all the spirits, wherever and whoever you are, don't let me injure myself again. It was enough. I mean, the back and both feet, it's enough of pain and everything. I will be good. I will work on myself, and I will be good. But mostly what I'm taking from these lessons is the knowledge that I've gotten, that I am using now to teach my 2 girls, who are now 20 and 17, how to treat themselves better than I'm treating myself, in order to be to lead their life a little bit more balanced and with less ups and downs that I'm pushing myself into. And I think that this is my main goal now. One has already left the nest, the other one will do it quite soon. And we'll see what happens with my career and with my health, after the second one leaves the house in a year and a half. So we'll see. That will be another challenge for me. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story. Now it's my turn. For those who came later, I'm also speaking on this topic, and I found out I was moderating after. So, I will just start by telling you what I do, so you understand a little bit better what I will talk about. I call myself a transformational mentor, because this is kind of understandable. But I work a lot with energy. I work through my presence, through transmitting energy, through activating energy flow in other people. I can read your energy as well. I look at a person, and if I want, I can see things from their life story, things with their health, whatever shows up. So when I travel by plane, for example, and people ask me what I do, I often don't say it, because I also had, I said, I can read your energy, I can see what's happening with you. Okay, I will read my newspaper. So, and I live my life very much in the flow. And one thing like that was, we were talking about, quitting your job. When I felt it was time for me to go from my employment, I quit my job, and I didn't know what's going to be next. I just had the intuition to move to Amsterdam without a plan. And I just went with the flow, even though I had no clue what follows, no clue what I'm going to do next. So before I quit my job, I was a criminal lawyer for 7 years. So I also know structure, system, rational thinking, and usually people are very surprised. Oh, really? You do this and you are a lawyer? So I worked for the District State Prosecutor's Office here in Ljubljana. I was also a seconded national expert in The Hague at one of the EU agencies. And I worked a lot with abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and also international drug crime, covert operations and stuff like that. So I did have to be very organized, very on point, very rational. So now you can imagine a little bit where I come from when I tell you the next steps. So I just need to check my timing, sorry. Oh, I didn't start the clock. Yeah. So harnessing the flow of energy as an alternative business strategy. So I was also writing the program with someone else, so this title came from me. I actually think that harnessing the flow of energy cannot really be an alternative business strategy. For me, because I'm building my business now, it is a part of my business strategy, because as I see it, we have flow, which is the feminine energy, feminine essence, and which is ideas, the formless, everything that is still up here and not in form yet. Is very flexible, it's very fluid, it's not so tangible, it's not predictable. And then it's the focus, it's more the masculine aspect, which is very clear, its direction, its focus, its form, and only both together, as I see it, I mean, not only both together, because oftentimes, until now, what I saw in business was more of just here, focus, structure. But for the world that we want to create, and I think all of you here, we want to create something new, something better, something that preserves the earth and helps us all to be happier and more healthy. And I think these kind of creations, services, products, whatever they are, we can bring them through by combining focus and flow. So all the ideas that we maybe have, we need the masculine principle, the structure, to bring them into form. And when they are both together, it's like we create this channel and we can birth the new paradigm, the new world, something, a space where we take care of nature, that's our home, and we take care of each other, and we create stuff, products, services that support us, that we support each other, and we just create for all of us, not for personal gain, not just because money wants to be earned, like you were talking, not for some outside goal, but we are creating for something that nurtures us here, that nurtures us all. And so let me just check if I have a little bit of time. So I just wanted to invite you, an example of the flow, because I do believe we all have intuition. We all have this, we are just not used to listening to it. So maybe, I don't know, I will give you a very random basic example. You want to book a plane ticket. Of course, you want to get a good price. And you know your flight is soon, but something is saying, no, don't book yet. Wait. And you're thinking, no, I should book it because I don't know. And you just check the prices. And something is telling you, no, don't book yet. Not yet. Maybe only 2 days left, don't book yet. And then, okay, you either listen or not, but then maybe you buy the ticket, and later you just check and you see that the price went very much down. That was just a small nudge telling you, no, wait, because the price is going to go down. Or, if you take an example in business, maybe you are discussing to start a project with someone, and it makes very much sense rationally. Very much sense, but something is telling you, no. And then, if you listen, if you don't go for it, maybe later you find out, I don't know, that your business, that person was hiding some information, and I don't know, the company went bankrupt or whatever. Something that was not on paper, that you couldn't see rationally, but you were tapping into the project energetically, and you could feel that something is not going to go right. So my point is, when we bring both of these together and also we start listening to that voice that is already tapped into the energetic essence of what you want to bring through, you already have that information before it's in front of you in form of tangible. So I wanted to invite you, just take a minute, maybe to think for yourself or to talk with the person next to you. Think, what was one situation where you got a nudge like that, what personal or business, whatever comes, and you maybe listened, and then you're like, wow, yeah, that's what they talk about, or what I see in movies when, or you didn't listen, and then you saw later, yeah, I was actually right. Yeah, so I just give you a minute to just think of one situation like that for you. Or maybe talk with each other if you are sitting next to someone. And so if you thought about something and maybe somebody wants to share a little bit, I would be happy to hear, but it's okay also if you don't feel like it.
Already spoke about
Yeah.
yeah. I really believe that if we are aware of our thoughts, if we have enough time, we are not in the stress running around, we know everything.
Yes.
We just don't listen to ourselves. And as I spoke before, when we work in the companies, working on strategies or how to connect people to do something, it's always the same. If people would be connected to themselves and honest enough and attuned, nothing can go wrong, especially
Yes.
if teams are working together. It's such an enormous power. But I don't know, it's not the concept yet. It's kind of a new thing. Or I don't know.
Yeah, that's why we are here, I think, because we are the ones who will bring it in. Yeah. 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 So, it's absolutely understandable that you are doubting a little bit, is this actually true or am I just making up a story? Yeah, like we all do that. Even I am not always sure if this is right, what I'm receiving. I like to suggest two things. One very simple one is to practice this on small things. Small daily things when even if, if you listen or you don't listen, nothing really goes wrong. But like maybe sometime you get an intuition like you need to take the bus and it's supposed to go a bit later, but you're feeling, no, it's coming now. Let's go see. Things, small things like that. And then when you get confirmation once and twice, you start recognizing how your body or how your being is speaking to you. Because your body and your being are always speaking to you, and oftentimes you feel it somewhere in a certain part of your body, and you start observing how it shows up. Yeah.
I did this today, okay? I was searching for a parking on the way here, and I said, which parking lot should I take? At first I wanted to park in the center, I said, and I turned, went another way,
Yeah.
and then I parked here close to the hotel. And it was just one parking place waiting for me.
Yes. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. So Yeah, sorry, if I just finish. You practice on these kind of small things where you can't really mess up, so to say. And yeah, you get to know yourself and then just give yourself some space, because somebody was already, well, not sure if you are talking about it, but when you give space, these things can come out. And it's not even meditation is great, I do it, but it's not even necessarily meditating. Maybe just sit down in silence for 1 minute or 5 minutes and just sit and just be, and you're already creating space for you, for yourself. Yeah. Do you want?
I just wanted to say something else about that, which for me, I started getting signs, which sounds crazy, but I would say if this is going to happen, a bird will appear, and a bird will appear, and then that will happen. And I kept that secret for many years because I thought I'm mad. But actually, that feather, that bird, that sign, and if you connect with them, particularly around a small thing, they can make a huge difference, and they can give you that reassurance that you're not completely mad.
Also, yeah.
And that's that parking thing. So signs are there.
Yeah.
But another thing I was going to say is to have self-confidence, because when you live your life going with the flow, people do say to you, what the F are you doing?
Yes.
And you have to say, well, the birds told me to do this.
Yes.
I ended up the director of an international centre because I listened to the birds.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a matter of priority that you put into in your life. I mean, it's either the reason that guides you, or you let other emotional stuff into the reason as well.
Yeah, as I was saying, I think both. I mean, no, for me actually, mind is not the slave, but the supporter. What I feel, and then I want to create it, then I use reason. But the decisions, or where I go for the big things, for me is the heart, and then the reason will help you make it happen. It's like if you imagine a car, and I let my heart drive the car, but the GPS can be the mind. So I say, I feel I want to go there, and then GPS will guide me there, and maybe I want to stop somewhere and watch the trees, or maybe I change my route. But we need direction, we need structure, but to go from the heart. Yeah, so that's my message. Thank you. Yeah, and so thank you everyone for coming to this session. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, we continue. This will be the next one, but I guess we wait a little bit.